Thank you so much. Oh my god. Can we spend 5 minutes on today's tour? Before I want to listen to your Hi Adri. So I know that we're actually live and that you're actually seeing me. Oh my god. I want to hear a Hi Adri. I want to see a lot of hearts. Just please. Some hello? No? Giova, se mi senti, di ciao in inglese. I see a heart. Okay. First of all, I don't know if you have some chances to collect the other people. Thank you, Cynthia. To collect the other people and let them know that I'm live finally. Okay? Okay, first of all, lots of traffic. Second of all, I have a terrible headache. Third of all, this tour is being tremendously hard to put together. And fourth of all, it's gonna be also pretty long. I'm gonna try to be as fast as possible. I mean, or if you don't mind, I'll just walk. Fifth, I forgot my coat, so it's pretty cold. And hopefully I won't get sick. Third, it's very hard because it's not like any tour, you know, it's like a peculiar one just for Halloween, and I really try so hard to put like the most famous stories of ghosts and stuff. So yes. Fifth, sixth or seven, I don't know, I just forgot it now. I couldn't even find parking. It was so hard to find it, so even more. I took more than one pill, but my headache is still there, so for some reason. It's probably because in the last 3 days I haven't slept at all, and on top of that I've been working non-stop, and on top of that it's 11 p.m. and we're gonna finish probably 1. So my head is pulsing, I'm going crazy. And then my glasses fell off, and then everything went wrong. Anyways, so let's not waste any more time, because this tour, I don't want to ruin this tour, which actually has taken me a really hard time to, to put together, because it's not just any tour, and so I really want to deliver it in the best way possible. You will see how beautiful it is, and you will love it. The tour will go well now. On top of that, I was on the wrong link, just like Cynthia was saying, because you remember that we had to I had to show you Calcutta, the countryside up in the mountains, but the signal was so bad that the little village told me that I wasn't going to be able to do the tour. And so I decided to tell you that I would do an editing of the videos, which of course I'm a little late, but I'm gonna do the editing very soon. But you will love Calcutta. You probably saw the picture already up and everybody loved it. So so that tour was still up, and that's why I clicked on the link, and I appeared like I was on the Calcutta link. Finally, Cynthia told me, and then I figured out that I had to switch. Help me. Help me out. Anyways, if you want to post on my Facebook or on Going Places virtually or whatever, that I'm finally on. You can let people know because they don't want to miss this tour, which is exceptional. As always, tours are free, like any tour, but just some American guys. But as always, tours are supported by you, by spreading the word with your family and friends, just like now. Just spread the word anywhere, and bring people to my tours, to any guides tours, because in this way we can keep going. And also the support that you can give by leaving a tip, support on the supporting links that are in the description below. You will see other links in the description. Don't click on them until I tell you so that you can enjoy the tour as much as possible and with a logical sense, okay? Also, the supporting links are PayPal and Buy Me Coffee. You can support me there, are in the description below or in the description of the channel. I will repeat this halfway of the tour since this is a long one, and also at the end of the tour, as always. Yes, thank you everybody. It was, oh my god, I don't know if you could listen to the whole show. Like, I had a hell of a day. Anyways, apart from my headache, apart from not sleeping, apart from not finding parking and traffic and late and wrong link and blah blah blah, of course I will appreciate any kind of support, okay? And now we are ready to start the tour. Let me start by showing you where we are, even though we won't go there. Do you recognize that? St. Peter's. We're really at the Vatican. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot. I parked here, and the tour will end on the other side of the city. So this means that at the end of the tour, I will have to go back on top of that. But anyway, so the Vatican, right there. You know that we will talk also about Emanuela Orlandi. If you don't know who we are talking about, let me know in the chat. Of course, Emanuela Orlandi is connected to this area as well. You know that her family also lived in the Vatican, worked at the Vatican. But we will talk about her later, because on this tour, I'm not just going to talk about things. I'm just also showing you the places where all the things happened and connected to all the people as well. Okay? So are we ready? Just want to make sure that you are all ready. Like send hearts or say ready or anything, and we will start right away. Okay, lethargy just sent a heart, so that probably means we're ready to start. Okay, now the first one that we are going to talk about, ready when you are, Adri, or Adri when you're ready. That could be a new one, Adri when you're ready. Anyways, a little noise. Okay, now apart from the right side, which says Caput Mundi, and it's they're restoring for the Jubilee again, you know that already by now, and this is all over the city. This street is pretty macabre for many reasons. Actually, we mentioned this many times when we went to our Castel Sant'Angelo tours many times, right? Now, you remember probably the name Mastro Titta, which is the nickname of a guy named Giovanni Battista Bugatti. The street is already very macabre. Okay, here we are in Vicolo del Campanile 4. So, it actually in English would be Little Bell Tower, Alley number 4. And you can tell this is number 4 by this Roman number right here. You see? Number 4. I can tell it's already very macabre. Anyways, on the 22nd of March, 1796, at only 17 years old, of age, of course, Giovanni Battista Bugatti, nicknamed by everybody Mastro Titta, but mostly, he was also an umbrella painter by profession, made his debut as papal executioner. We mentioned him many times when we went to Castel Sant'Angelo. You may remember that. The execution took place in the esplanade behind the walls of Foligno, which was a Vatican possession. And the victim's name, the first one, was Nicola Gentilucci, a boy not much older than the executioner, who, after killing a curate guilty of insulting carriage, had gone into hiding for a few days and robbed 2 friars in order to survive. In the Papal States, the death penalty was prescribed for many kinds of, for a wide variety of offenses, or offenses, sorry for my pronunciation, from conspiracy to murder, to robbery. In the presence of aggravating circumstances, the corpse was then inflicted by dismemberment, and the limbs were hung around the gallows. So killing a religious person, think about it, constituted an aggravating circumstances in this case. You may wonder why we're here. Well, this is the door where the guy used to live. The umbrella painter, the umbrella maker. And look at the building, it's just very dark, very beautiful. The rituality, though, was precise and very and solemn. The condemned man was first escorted to church with his hands tied behind his back to confess and receive absolution, and then escorted to the gallows by a procession led by the executioner and composed of soldiers and friars from an arch-confraternity. In this case, the arch-confraternity of St. John Decolate. So on the way, the friars hooded, let me show you better this way. The friars were hooded, prayed, and collected offerings from the crowd for the condemned man's family. And as for the executioner, he also confessed before the execution and took communion. Would you believe that? But this is true. That's what happened every time. Then donned a scarlet cloak, and if the execution took place in Rome, headed from the Vatican to Piazza del Popolo or Campo de Fiori, which will go after, crossing, of course, St. Angel Bridge, which will cross very soon. Hence also the Roman saying that goes like, executioner goes through the bridge, indicating that someone is about to die. So that's a famous Roman saying as well. Everybody is silent. Are you all good? The killing was done by butchering, hanging, or decapitation as well. The latter with an axe before the advent of the guillotine, of course, introduced by France, as we all know. Once cut off, the head was grabbed by the executioner by the hair and shown to the crowd. Of course, minor offenses which did not involve capital punishment were not neglected. Mastro Titta would mutilate offenders with his dagger, cutting off a hand, an ear, a nose, or even removing an eye. Oh, you're engrossing my story. I love that. Thank you, Maple. Think about it, that 514 executions and 68 years of almost uninterrupted service make Mastro Titta the most famous executioner in Europe. Not just in Italy, in Europe. Legends have arisen about him. A book passed off as an autobiography was published at the end of the 19th century, which fueled the idea of an evil, sadistic figure who enjoyed giving suffering and death. According to another Vulgate, Mastro Titta instead was a good man who carried out his task with skill and speed. You may imagine why, and sometimes even offer a sip of wine or a mouthful of tobacco to those who he was about to kill. So a man who at sight of work showed excellent character and great piety. So double stories about him. Multiple judgments about Mastro Titta. On one side, a good man; on the other side, not a good one. Ambivalent was also the attitude of the people faced with so much horror on display to the execution, which were a great, highly anticipated spectacle and show. Children were brought. Did you know that? Who at the fatal moment, when the head was about to be cut off, accompanied by a shout of enthusiasm from those gathered around, were giving a slap to remind them of the punishment that awaited them if they misbehaved. How curious is that? Mastro Titta's world, though, when he was not called upon to do his job, was all enclosed in the Borgo, in the where he lived. And here we are right now. So I brought you to the door. Think about it. This is a 15th century palace in the Vicolo del Campanile, again, Campanile's alley. In 1864, the executioner of Rome, and now I'm just gonna keep going so that you can also admire the whole building. We stay here quite a while. Look how interesting and medieval is this part of Rome. So as I was saying, in 1864, the executioner of Rome performed his last task, and from then on devoted himself to training his successors. He died on the 18th of July, 1869, a year before the breach of Porta Pia. So he narrowly missed the capture of Rome and the end of the Papal States. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't even work anymore. He who had been the implacable arm of his 6 popes. Think about it. It is said that the ghost of Mastro Titta likes to stroll at first light, dressed in the scarlet cloak, just like he did when about to execute people, near the places where he carried out his sentences. And it is said that he sometimes offers a snuff box to those he meets. And he used to do the same with condemned prisoners just before executions. How interesting was the story? Did you enjoy it? So apart from the story that I want to tell you tonight, actually let me put my cap on because it's very, very cold. I'm also showing you amazing parts of Rome, which some of that you've seen it in the tour, and some others are new. Here we are at Passetto. We've seen it many times. This is Passetto, which is called the Little Passage, the famous tunnel that unifies the Castel Sant'Angelo, Sant'Angelo Castle, with the Vatican. And this allowed many to escape from the Vatican in case of danger, just like happened to many popes as well. Now we're walking, I wonder about the mindset of someone who actually goes, oh yeah, right? And think about it, actually it was considered, I mean, for many, a good man. So, and also the fact that he did everything with speed, that also meant that he probably was so cold inside. I mean, his mindset was so cold, so firm, that he wouldn't even think about it. He would just do it. And then go back to his place, go back to paint his umbrellas. Can you believe that? Anyways, let me cross really quick because I don't want to get hit, which I was almost about from the ambulance. I wonder about that mountain too, but yes. Especially we're talking about different times here, don't, so of course different times, different mindset, but not so much. I mean, men after all don't change much, right? Anyways, let's get some music. And here we are at Sant'Angelo Castle. And the beautiful scenery at night of this amazing. Did you enjoy the music? I prepared this so well. That was so sad that all these things happening before the tour. But let's enjoy the tour and let's continue the story. Because Halloween is, it's already the 31st here in Italy.
Should have stopped and respected the neutrality of
Now we are reaching Sant'Angelo Bridge. Oh, there's also a mouse. I just saw a mouse. How interesting. Just to make it even more macabre, because it was chilling. Okay, now we're talking about Beatrice Cenci now. By the way, look at the castle is pink, just like my last name. And soon, by the way, let me remind you that 2 tours will be on Calcutta, the village of witches, and Castel Sant'Angelo inside. That will be 2 hell of a tours. Like, seriously, you'll be amazed, especially the castle. You will love it. Now, in the meantime, we can enjoy this beautiful pinkish effect. Super cool. Now, for Beatrice Cenci, you have a picture. Here you have the first picture on the links underneath in the description. If you click on that link, the first one, you will see the face of this lady. Also, I want to show you the view from here. The Vatican is right there. We walk all around the river. Look how beautiful. The bridge, which is under restoration for the Jubilee, and the castle, which today is pink for the occasion. I'm as surprised as you to see it pink, so I'm not sure why. I will try to ask in case and let you know. Anyway, Beatrice Cenci, which you have the link again of the picture in the link underneath, in the link in the description, is probably Rome's most famous ghost. Actually, without even probably, is Rome's most famous ghost. It is said that every year on the night between the 10th and 11th of September, it is possible to see her spirit wandering on this bridge, which we are about to reach by turning right. The place and date when the poor girl met her death. Now you will see the bridge with no angels, unfortunately, because they're again under restoration. There will be soon the scaffoldings will be taken off soon for the Jubilee. So now we are in a pretty dark area because of this restoration, so the macabre music would be perfect. I'm just going pretty fast on this bridge, but in the meantime you can listen to the story that I'm telling about this girl. Were you able to see the link? Let me know if yes or if not. Anyways, her story is very sad. Beatrice was the daughter of Francesco Cenci, a Roman nobleman who lived in the second half of the 16th century. A horrible man, by the way. He subjected the then 15-year-old Beatrice to the most unspeakable abuse for many, many years. He went so far as to lock the girl up in a castle together with his second wife. And what's the Jubilee all about? We, probably all your friends in the chat know, because I said this many times, but I will tell you as soon as I'm done with the story. So don't worry, Terry, I will let you know very soon. At the age of 22, Beatrice, exasperated and tired by the constant abuse from her father, asked her brothers for help to kill her father. So on the 9th of September 1598, sorry, mine was running. 1598, the family organized the murder by driving a nail into Francesco Cenci's skull. and surprising him in his sleep. So he was sleeping while the girl and the whole family killed the man. Now we're back in the street. Sorry, I was going slowly because it's very, very dark. As you see the castle at the end, but all around is very, very dark. Let me see, because I see a little light that I don't like. It might be my... Okay, there you go. Let me just clean just in case, but it looks clean. Now we're gonna cross the bridge. We're gonna cross the street, because now we have quite a little route to make together until reaching the third spot of the store. So as I was saying, they threw the body of into the garden and justified the blood-stained sheets with Beatrice's menstrual cycle. I don't know why Rome is very dark. I don't know if they did it on purpose because of a Halloween, but this is not helping my walking at all. But anyways, unfortunately, the investigations led to the truth, and both the brothers and Beatrice were arrested, tortured, and sentenced to death for the murder they had committed. The girl was then condemned to be beheaded in the square of Sant'Angelo Castle, which we were just before. And since that day, every anniversary, the sad and restless soul of Beatrice, the girl, is revealed on Sant'Angelo's bridge as she wanders sadly, melancholically, dressed in her turquoise dress, a silver cloak on her shoulder, and with her severed head in her hands. Oh, thank you, Tish. Yeah, so the Jubilee is a holy year. Happens every 25 years, and it's basically the reconnection of God with man. With man with God, and the holy doors of each basilica, especially, of course, the most important one, St. Peter's, are open after being sealed for 25 years. And it's a year of events. So that's why Rome is preparing for that, because it happens only 25 years. The Pope will open the holy door after being closed for 25. Actually, this time for just 10, because he held a special jubilee just 10 years ago. Popes can decide to hold special jubilees if they want. Scarily dark. Okay. Are you enjoying the tour? Look at this beautiful. Sorry that it was very dark. That was not my fault, unfortunately. It was not on my hand, but now we're actually walking on this part of the... on the other side there's the river Rome, but I just wanted to show you this side, which is so beautiful and macabre. And very, very famous street. Look at the rooms, and it's just like so beautiful. Okay, let me start by introducing the third story, which is probably the most famous one, and it's about the famous Vatican girl, Emanuela Orlandi. As again, I told you that she's very connected to the Vatican area because her family used to live there. But in reality, I want to take you, just to make this tour more special and showing you the exact places, I want to show you the area where she was seen the last time. So let me introduce you a little for those who don't know, but I'm sure everybody knows about Emanuela Orlandi. And if you don't, you can watch The Vatican Girl on Netflix. That will give you an insight about this girl. It is one of the most discussed cold cases in Italian history. The disappearance, we're talking about disappearance here of and kidnapping of Emanuela Orlandi, the Vatican citizen who disappeared in Rome in 1983 when she was just 15 years old. Imagine that the girl, according to accounts of that day, was returning from music class and but never returned home. Our tour will end year after, so we're going all around until being back here in probably an hour or so. Oh yeah, Rome will be the place to be. Definitely never come to Rome on the year before because everything is under restoration. But they say that many things won't be ready anyway, so but they're trying their best. But this is a good occasion to restore monuments and places of Rome that generally are sometimes in decay. So so after 40 years, the Orlandi case is still unsolved, by the way. And the investigation has been reopened many times, and even lately, in 2023, last time. Many leads have been followed over the last 4 decades. The Orlandi family's relationship with the Vatican have been investigated. And the involvement of the Mayanas gang has been hypothesized. Links with the assassination attempt of John Paul II, which took place on, by the way, May 13, 1981, at the hands of the Turkish man Mehmet Ali Agca, about a year before the Orlandi abduction. The pedophilia trail has not been ruled out either, so the girl has never been found. And the Orlandi family is still, especially her brother, still fighting to get the truth. We see his brother on TV many times. He said, "I will never stop fighting to find the truth until I'm alive." And the the nephews and nieces said the same. Said, "We will fight as well." So a whole generation, like many generations of the family, will continue to fight. But you know, here we're fighting against the biggest of the institutions in the world, the church. So this definitely won't be an easy job. So again, of course they want to know if she's alive or not. Last testimonies from Pope Francis said that actually she's dead. So at least the brother got this news. But of course nothing is being ever confirmed. The day Emanuela disappeared was Wednesday, June 22nd, 1983. As usual, she had gone to Santa Apollinaire Square. And a few steps away from the Senate building in Rome, and it was we will reach it in a little, so I will stop telling you more because I want to actually reach the place where she went for the music class, and before actually disappearing forever, for good. So the place of her last appearance is also the place where she went for the music class. Let me cross, and we will see the area and also the buildings surrounding the area. So there's a documentary on Netflix, but I'm sure that everybody heard the story. Emanuela Orlandi is probably one of the most famous cases in the world of disappearance because she was not any girl. She was a Vatican girl, and that's what makes it a very difficult case. That's the problem. The Vatican girl, yes. Oh, I thought you knew everything about her. Think that yes, you will need to watch it so you will know more about it. Think about it that seriously, this has been all over the news. Generally, when news go all over your country is something, but when news go all over the world, something else. Think that Emanuela Orlandi's news disappearance went all over States, Canada, South America, Africa, Asia, everybody. Because again, it's not any girl, it's the Vatican girl. The Vatican girl. And now with the sound of this seagull, we are in the area where Emanuela Orlandi, let me turn the camera, Giza, yes, where Emanuela Orlandi disappeared for the last time. That was 1983, Maple. Oh yeah, it was big news again, but like Emanuela Orlandi is a big one. I'm not kidding. I'm not telling you just to tell you because it's Italian, she's Italian, so no. That's an international case, seriously. This is bigger than any case that you may think about. Even the last one that I saw, Liling Rick Menendez or Amanda Knox or any other case of this. Emanuela Orlandi is the biggest. Guys, here we're talking about the Vatican, not any country. The Vatican, the church. Okay, so here, as usual, she would come to the square. Which again is very close to the Senate, which is right there in the distance. I mean, you cannot see it from here. We're very close to Piazza Navona Square, which right now is under restoration, but we will go through it, so you will probably see it. I'll let you see a little. And it was here that Tommaso Ludovico da Vittoria Institute held its music courses. This is a square. I'm just going around. And the day she arrived in a hurry, the day she arrived here in a hurry for her music class, late for her flute lesson, which had already begun. Afterwards, she started to attend another lesson, that of choral singing, leaving the classroom before the ending of that class. And as soon as she left, she called her home, where her sister Federica answered the phone. On the phone, she said that while she was on her way to her flute class, a man has stopped her to offer her a job as a flyer at Fontana Sisters fashion show. Fontana Sisters were really famous at that time. The man allegedly waited for her until the end of the class to receive her answer about attending the event or not, whether or attending or not, which was scheduled if you're British, for the following Saturday. Once she left the music school, the versions of her disappearance are multiple, and the story continues. The story about Emanuela Orlandi is too long. It's extra long. Imagine telling you 40 years of a case, an interrupted case, because this is not a case that happened 4 years ago and ended or had a conclusion. No, we're still talking about it. We're still waiting for the church to tell the truth. One thing we know, that any investigation that was made leads to the church. The church is involved. That's for sure. But we can't tell more than that. You need to discover it. You need to wait, just like we are all waiting for that. But make sure to watch The Vatican Girl to get a more general idea of the story. Okay? By Gloria Adrian, just like me, Adrian. You were 7. I was -3. Again, let me show you the place. And I want to show you also the plaque. Square of Saint Apollinaire, right there. I don't know if you can see it perfectly. Now, Navona Square is here. The beautiful Navona Square is all under restoration, so it's very pointless to go there. Also, because we don't have reasons to go there today. In reality, we need to reach other places. So we don't even need Piazza Navona. By the way, this is the Diocletian Stadium. While we're walking, again, this is the first example of masonry stadium ever built in ancient Rome. Unique testimony in sport history. And it's right under Navona Square. Look how beautiful. You're right down. You're right down. If the church wants to cover it up, we'll never know the truth. And unfortunately, I think that's what will happen. Or maybe in many, many, many years. I think it's probably too soon, too early. Not, of course, not. I don't mean it in a bad way. I think it's too early for the church, not for us, of course, to know the truth about this case. Hopefully, I aroused your curiosity if you didn't know about Emanuela Orlandi. But definitely give it a chance, because it's very, very good. Okay. Now we're continuing on the parallel street of Piazza Navona, but before doing that, let me remind you that this is a free tour. I still didn't thank anybody because I didn't see any support, but just to remind you again, we need supporting for the tours in order to keep going. You can do it at the end of the tour, you can do it during the tour, you can do it anytime, you can rewatch the tour and do it again. And the links for supporting are in the description below. You can click on both PayPal and Buy Me Coffee links for that. Okay? Now, we'll continue the tour. And we are in Via dell'Anima. In English, that would be Street of the Soul, which, to be honest, it perfectly fits with today's tour, right? Now, why are we here? You can click on the link of Costanza de Cupis to see the face of this girl. I'll wait to walk a little because there's too much music, which doesn't make our tour scary enough. So here in the early 1600s lived the nephew of Cardinal Gian Domenico de Cupis, together with his bride Costanza. Costanza, a very attractive young woman who loved to embroider near the window of the family palace in Via dell'Anima, so right in this street. The back of which overlooks the famous Roman piazza, of course, Piazza Navona, which we just saw before, I mean from farther distance. Located to the right of the church of Sant'Agnese in Agone. We entered the church in one of our tours as well. The young woman received many compliments for the delicacy and the beauty of her hands. So, also in the picture, if you click on it, you can also see the hand. There's a reason why we're about to talk about her hand. So much so that she was nicknamed Constance with the beautiful hand. One day, an artist asked her if he could make a cast of her hands, and she agreed. Also, I want to show you this alley, which is beautiful. The small sculpture was put on a display in her workshop when one day a stranger admired its beauty and said, "If I had such a beautiful hand, I would cut it off to keep it like that forever." At that moment, legend has it that Constanza, or Constance in English, pricked herself with a needle under a fingernail. That small lesion brought a very serious infection to the poor woman, who was forced to undergo amputation of her hand. Despite the drastic operation, the young woman died of septicemia a few days later. And since then, it is said that on full moon nights, a pale hand can be seen in the window of the Palazzo de Cupis overlooking Piazza Navona, Navona Square. And the last sighting dates back, think about it, to the 1920s, 100 years ago, when a child accompanied by his grandfather would not stop waving towards the window that Costanza loved so much. How macabre. And thank you, Donna, for your support. Thank you so much. And now We are continuing our tour because we still have a few stories to tell. And to be exact, 4 more. I told you that it was going to be long. We already talked about Mastro Titta, the executioner, Beatrice Cenci, the ghost, Emanuela Orlandi just now, and then again Costanza de Cupis. So we're exactly halfway of the tour. 4 more stories to tell. Now be ready to reach with me Campo de Fiori, one of the most famous squares here in Rome. Because that square has unfortunately become famous not only for the market, the most famous Roman market in Rome, but also as the place where death sentences were carried out. And at the spot where the statue that you will see of a hooded man now stands, centuries ago there was a gallows, a symbol of the power of life and death that the Pope had over all the citizens. Everyone probably knows this, but it is always better to refresh everybody's memory. The statue that stands in the center of the square that we're about to reach, cloaked and hooded, is that of Dominican friar, the philosopher Giordano Bruno. Giordano Bruno, last name Bruno. Now, I want you to reach the place with me. I'm actually telling you the story a little bit ahead of seeing the square, because there might be lots of noise there. Nowadays, during the day, it's a marketplace, the most famous market of Rome, but at night is a place for drinking for youngsters. So I don't want to encounter all that noise and tell you the story right now, okay? So again, this philosopher who was burnt alive at the exact spot that we will see there where it is, the statue, in 1600. Because the ideas he advocated went against the teachings of the church at that time. With the Holy Inquisition, the armed arm of... Sorry, that was bad. Okay, Romans. Let him go. Okay. Now, again, with the Holy Inquisition, as I was saying, the armed arm of Holy Mother Church, one did not mess around those days, and sentences for so-called heretics had to be exemplary. Interestingly, among the ideas held by the friar was this, that the sun and not the earth was at the center of the universe, a theory unacceptable to the church at that time. But now we know the history. Oh, look at this ghost. Perfect for Halloween. So, the statue, again, a symbol of free thought and the misdeeds of popes and the like, was erected in the square in 1889. after much opposition from the clerical elite. But you know, as I said before, times change, but men do not. And so church kept opposing no matter what. Now you can already hear noises, and that's why I wanted to tell you a story before getting here. Think also that this place was a place of not just for heretics just like Giordano Bruno, but for witches as well. So it was also a magic place, in a way, a magical place. Now I'll show you the beautiful statue of Giordano Bruno. Again, erected here in 1889. The square is just beautiful, and again, full of bars. But in the middle, we have Giordano Bruno. Luckily, not many people are around the statues like it always happens. And he says there in Italian, in that plaque, to Giordano Bruno, that here took fire. Just like Joan d'Arc, you know, another heretic figure. Okay, we're ready to reach the other spot. Sixth on our list. So now I can say we are a little over the half of our tour. And we'll reach Piazza Farnese. By the way, yes, most of the places are under restoration, just like Piazza Farnese, Farnese Square. A family very discussed in a way. But we won't talk about Farnese's family here. We'll talk about another famous case, this time involving not Italy. I mean, yes, in a way, yes. But we're talking about the kidnapping of Paul Getty III, which I'm sure that probably you're all more familiar with, right? The squares is like you see the fountains on the sides are being restored. So I can show you like really quick. They're actually super white, and I'm glad they're restoring it. They're doing a very nice job. Look how beautiful. Okay. And on the other side, the same fountain. So the kidnapping of Paul Getty III, I'm sure you're all more familiar with this one. As I was saying before, this is Farnese's palace, by the way. And 50 years ago, more or less, the 17-year-old grandson of the world's richest man was kidnapped in Piazza Farnese, in this square in Rome. It was mutilated to persuade the art-collecting oil man to pay $1 million ransom that he had initially refused, if you know a little bit about the story. And yeah, imagine Rome next year, all beautifully cleaned. And it was the first mutilation of a kidnapped person. It took place 3 months after the kidnapping, when the gang, the head guy, that had him in their hands, had a piece of the right ear and a lock of hair of John Paul Getty III, one of the 13 grandsons of the richest man in the world, American oil man and art collector John Paul Getty. So probably, again, that's why you're probably more familiar with this story. An Irish citizen, by the way, and a man with a reputation for being miserably delivered to the editorial office of the Roman newspaper Il Messaggero. 50 years have passed since that kidnapping that held Italy in suspense for 5 months. And at first, the elderly grandfather refused to pay the ransom after an initial demand of $17 million. He feared it was a deception devised by his grandson himself, a designer, a bohemian life, whose mother owned a boutique on the Spanish Steps in Rome, in order to get money out of him. But the macabre delivery made him come to his senses, and so much so that he agreed to pay a reduced sum of $3 million. Still a lot of money. Think about it. I don't know if you know this. He shared this sum with the boy's own father, who then undertook, think about it, to pay back the sum loaned to him at an interest rate of 4% per year. So the father even had to pay an interest rate to the richest man, to the man which was also the grandfather of the guy. So I mean, not very comprehensive, not very sympathetic, I would say, right? Yeah, exactly. The Getty kidnapping inaugurated a long season at the turn of 2 decades between 1970s and 1980s. So in those years in which the kidnapping industry ruled from north to south of the Italian peninsula. Scrooge, exactly, John, exactly like Scrooge. 650 kidnappings were counted in that 20-year period, so a big amount. On the day of the kidnapping, once sedated, the boy was taken to a cellar near a town in the province of Salerno in the south of Italy, where he would kept for 5 long months without ever being moved. And then once the ransom had been paid, kidnappers freed the young Paul along the Salerno motorway, where a truck driver pricked him up on the very day his grandfather turned 81. And it was the 15th December of 1973. So there's also a film about this. I saw that one as well. So if you're interested, it should be The Richest Man in the World, something like that. But the experience tested the guy so much that the boy soon became a slave to drugs. In 1981, a cocktail of deadly narcotics caused a stroke that paralyzed him, leading to complete blindness. And John Paul Getty III would later die in 2011 in England at the age of 55. 9 people were later arrested for the kidnapping, but only 2 were actually convicted as the real perpetrators of the kidnapping. Are you still here with me? You still have 2 more stories. Well, we have a last story and a last place to show you. We will end with that place. So there's a lot of people down there, so probably I will stop here in the meantime. And so that we won't hear much noise when we get there, because that's exactly the place where we are headed. So here we are in Via Monserrato, but we will reach exactly number 46 of this street. We're talking about Giulia Tofana. There should be a picture link as well of this girl. Look it up and let me know if these links are all working, by the way. All the money in the world. Thank you, Tish. So you know that in the past, in society of the past, there's a little noise from a truck, so I will stop for a second. Bear with me. Okay. So as I was saying, in the past, in society of the past, women had no decision-making power, and not that nowadays things have changed much, but definitely better, at least in, let's say, democratic countries. And we're often subjected to submission and violence. One of the greatest ambitions of women after marriage was to have a quiet life, and that was achieved by being widowed. But that's the truth. That's the truth. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. In the 17th century Italy, no one handled poison with greater dexterity than Giulia Tofana. Again, see the link that I sent you for to see the face of this girl. A sorceress, an alchemist turned serial killer, who sold women trapped in arranged marriages poison to administer to their husbands. Giulia had a network that stretched across Sicily, Naples, and Rome, providing a much sought-after service between the years 1630 and 1655. So 25 years. Her empire, her occult empire, included cunning women, unscrupulous pharmacists, and corrupt clergymen, who were responsible for the sale and distribution of the lethal substances. Little is known of the woman's life. Her mother, Teofania d'Adamo, or aunt, we should say, depending on the source, was executed in Palermo, in Sicily, in 1633 on charges of poisoning her husband Francesco. Giulia, as a matter of fact, may therefore have learned about poisons in the family. Many widows, yes. And she also married, but was soon widowed and moved with her daughter from Sicily, first to Naples and then to Rome. With the help of her daughter and a group of trust collaborators, she started a cosmetics business. But it was only a cover for the sale of a deadly product called Acqua Tofana, Tofana's water. Water, you know that term, and Tofana was her last name, so Tofana's water, her water. And a concoction passed off as a normal cosmetic of the time, but which contained instead lead, arsenic, and belladonna. It was odorless, colorless, and tasteless, but mixed with other liquids or in food, it produced its lethal effect. So a perfect poison. The first dose caused exhaustion and physical weakness. Just showing you around the area, but soon we'll see the palace where she lived here in Rome, which is exactly where all those youngsters are. So that's why I'm waiting to go there. It's exactly above that coffee bar. It was just called coffee bar, but it's actually a place for youngsters to drink. So the second dose caused stomach pains, vomiting, and dysentery, and the third or the fourth dose would do the rest. And you can imagine death. The method of administration and the slow release effect of the poison deceived doctors as well, and investigators. The death was caused by some unknown disease, so they could never find out the real elements of this poison. Giulia not only sold the poison, but also, think about it, this is super curious, as I always like to tell you some curiosities. She also sold practical behavioral instructions for women after the death of their husbands. So she taught them to mourn and to grieve, and to ask for a coroner's examination of the cause of death in order to be above suspicion. So I'll show you the place, which is exactly where the guys are, about the coffee place. And it's exactly here, Café Peru. This is a bar, and here is a place. Right here. But I don't want to be hit. There you go. And this is the square in front. Look how beautiful. Full of squares. And now we're ready to reach our final point, but maybe, why not? You can accompany me to go back to my car. Why not? Okay. Are we all ready for the finale of this macabre tour? And maybe I'll tell you a few more stories. Okay, so now we need to reach our next stop. And go through this part. Okay. Now, the last part of the story will be a place instead of a story, and will be the Church of Saint Mary of Prayer and Death. You have the last link to see the church during daylight, in case you're curious. We are about to reach it in a few seconds. It's located in the Rione Regola, in the Regola district, along the elegant Via Giulia, the famous Giulia Street. It's super famous, I mean, full of boutiques and artist shops. We've been here many times. The church was built in the 16th century by Compagnia, the Company of the Prayer and Death. It stands Look how beautiful. I love it. It's all light up. You don't even need the picture. Can show you all the details, but yes, no, just in case, keep it, because I'll give you some details that are very interesting to know, to see, and so in this way you will get even more interested in the story. Okay, so again, of course, how to end this tour? Well, with the Church of St. Mary of Prayer and Death. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. So again, look how beautiful this finale with these plants here. The plaque that says Julia Street right there. And the church, which I'll show you the details and you will love them very soon. But yes, click on the link. Yes, Carla, you should definitely rewatch this tour. We are at the end of this tour, and this is the finale. We have been telling stories until now. This is the only place instead of a story. So you're seeing the finale now. So welcome. Anyways. Again, as I was saying, it stands here on an ancient cemetery dedicated to the Christian burial of abandoned corpses, bodies, rebuilt in the first half of the 18th century on a project by the architect Ferdinando Fuga. I want to show you more like that. And I can also do an Adam shot if you want me to. You tell me, like a vertical one. It is a monument to the cult of death. True graffiti plaques stand out on the 18th century facade, and I want to show you the graffiti. One depicts a winged skeleton with the inscription Hadi Mihi Krash Tibi. That is to say, there you go, you see? Hadi Mihi Krash TB. Again, that is to say, my turn today, yours tomorrow. See? That's the graffiti. Yes, I will do the vertical shot. I want to show you the graffiti first. And then on the other side, we have the death sitting and holding a winged hourglass in hand that watches a dying man right here. Right here. Also, there's a little space here. No. Elemosina per I poveri. So, charity for poor people that. And on the other side, charity, money to give for, let me read it again because I forgot, for the perpetuous lamp of the cemetery. Okay? Now I'll do the Adam shot. That. And I go a little further. I'm now done though. And the main entrance is surmounted by a semicircular tympanum. I want you to watch the link that I sent you in the description below, because inside the tympanum there is an hourglass that recalls the fleetingness of time and is decorated with festoons, pilasters, skulls, and macabre symbols. Look at it's right there. I don't know if you can see it, but if you zoom the picture, I will indicate it. See the semicircular tympanum? The hourglass is right there, that little thing. Also, I'm sure you noticed it. I'm sure you noticed it. But look at the skulls as well. Here and here. You see? And festoons all over. And on top as well. Okay? Right there here in Via Giulia Street. There's still some noise from a truck. We'll let the truck go. The last link that I sent you, actually, if you click on the last link that I sent you, you have a whole gallery of features, okay? So you'll be able to actually see also the inside of this beautiful church, but not only that, also the crypt and the underground of the church. The underground, there's only the crypt, by the way, which it's what remains of the ancient cemetery of the Archconfraternity. Was destroyed to build the Tiber walls. It received more than 8,000 abandoned bodies found in the river or in the countryside until the 19th century. Today, if you click also on the link, you can see this. You can see bones and skeletons creating artistic decorations, crosses, sculptures, and chandeliers, and numerous skulls. Some with the ear and the cause of death and the place of discovery engraved on the forehead. I should make one of my laugh. And also here we are in the Fountain of Mascherone. We saw this in our fountain stores at night. And again, here is also one of the places where, I mean, it's close to the area of Farnese Square, which is also again connected with Getty, Paul Getty III. Now, I'm going back all the way to the Vatican. You can stay with me for a little, or you can go to your next tour or to sleep, I don't know, if you have other tours to watch. Now, let me remind you again that this is a free tour supported by you. And by the way, Carla, thank you for your support, even if you hadn't watched it. So very, very much thankful. And thank you for all the people that were here Even a small amount is appreciated. The links are below. PayPal and buy me coffee. Hopefully you enjoy it. The tour of the Halloween Rome's tour. And I wouldn't wish that either. Down. We'll see each other with the Palatine Hill this Sunday. By the way, the Rome's Rose Garden is open again because it's October. It's only open in October and June, but it's way more beautiful in June, and so that's why I'm not showing it to you now. Also, 2 amazing tours are about to be on. They will be not live for technical reasons, one for signal and one for copyright. And I'm talking about St. Angel Castle inside, which is, it's wow. It's just wow. And the Calcutta, the village of witches, which I went this Sunday for you all the way, and then when I was there, no signal. Can you imagine the frustration? Anyways, on top of that, I did all the editing. I did all the videos. Now I have to do all the editing, and I will deliver it to you as soon as possible. This time for this 2, for the Calcutta one, there will be no fee in advance. You will just be able to see it freely. For the Castle St. Angel inside, there won't be a fixed amount of fee. There will be just an initial fee to enter the tour. That's it. So you will be asked for any amount, but so there will be a fee, but not a fixed one. You can decide which tip you want to support with. Okay, and now I'll say goodbye to you with the view of this beautiful city. We are in Trastevere. The Vatican is far there in the distance, and I need to go all the way there. Oh my. So I'll probably go the other way though. Yes. So with this beautiful view, I say bye to you and I say good night to you. And I'll see you this Sunday, and with the 2 non-live tours that will be up very soon. Enjoy your Halloween, people, and enjoy your night. Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for the support as well.